Hi everyone. Today's topic is question tags. Question tags. What are question tags? A question tag is a grammatical structure. A question tag is a grammatical structure. Grammatical structure in which a statement is turned into a question. A question tag is a grammatical structure in which a statement is turned into a question by adding an interrogative fragment. This is the definition for question tags. What is the definition for question tags? A question tag is a grammatical structure. It's a grammatical item in which a simple statement is turned into a question by adding an interrogative fragment, interrogative section, interrogative piece. So for example, you are Ramya. You are Ramya. Aren't you? Aren't you? See here, you are Ramya. It is a statement. This is a statement. By adding this interrogative fragment, aren't you, this statement becomes question. So this is called question tags. Then how to add a question tag for a statement or a sentence? So for this you have a previous knowledge of auxiliary verbs. So there are 24 auxiliary verbs in English. So we already know that there are 24 auxiliary verbs in English. So present and past auxiliary verbs are there. So first one is B form auxiliaries. So which are the B form auxiliaries? Am, is, was, are, were. These 5 auxiliary verbs are B form auxiliaries. And now the second one is do form auxiliaries. Does, do, did. These 3 are called do form auxiliaries. And the next one is have form auxiliaries. Has, have, had. And the remaining are modals. Namely will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, ought to, need to, dare to, used to, and must. So these are the 24 auxiliaries. So some are B form auxiliaries, do form auxiliaries, have form auxiliaries, and modals. So how many B form auxiliaries are there? So there are 5 B form auxiliaries. Which are they? Am, is, was, are, were. And which are the do form auxiliaries? There are 3 three do form auxiliaries, namely does, do, did. And which are the have form auxiliaries? Has, have, had. And the modals are will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, ought to, need to, dare to, used to, must. So these are called auxiliary verbs. So if you have this previous knowledge, you can add a suitable question tag for a statement. Now take the sentence. Ramya is writing a letter. Ramya is writing a letter. It is a simple statement or an assertive sentence. Ramya is writing a letter. So first we have to identify the sentence, whether the sentence is a positive one or a positive statement or a negative statement. So how can you identify the sentence, whether it is a positive sentence, a positive statement or a negative statement? So for that you have to look for these words: no, not, never, neither, nor. If the sentence is having any one of these words, such as no, not, never, neither, nor, then the sentence is a negative sentence. If the sentence is not having any of these words, it's a positive statement. And as for the rule, we must add a negative question tag for a positive statement and a positive question tag for a negative statement. So look at this. If the sentence is a positive statement, we have to add a negative question tag. First we have to add AV for that. AV means auxiliary verbs, and then we should have to add not for that, and then put subject and put question mark. So this is the, and by this becomes a question tag. And if the statement is a negative, if the sentence is a negative statements, so negative statements means, so it contains any of these words, the question tag becomes AV plus subject. So look at this. A positive statement takes a negative question tag, and a negative statement takes a positive question tag. Let us take another sentence. Ramya is going to market. So look at this sentence. In this sentence, it is a positive sentence, isn't it? It doesn't contain any of these words, so it is a positive sentence. So for positive sentence, we should have to add AV, not, plus subject to make a question tag. So first I will take down the rules. AV plus not plus subject. So in this sentence, which is the AV is given, auxiliary, which is the auxiliary verb? Yes, it is. Write down this is and put not, and which is the subject? It is Ramya. So you can write she instead of Ramya. So then if you add not for not to is, it becomes isn't she. So this is the question tag. You can write isn't Ramya. So both are correct answers for this statement. Now take another sentences. So I've taken one more sentence. She is not very weak. She is not weak. She is not weak. Here, the given sentence is a negative sentence. How can you come to know? So here it is not in the sentence. There is a not in the sentence. Hence, it is a negative sentence. For negative sentence, we should have to add a positive question tag. That is AV plus subject. So which is the AV here? Again it is. If you add subject to it, it is she. She is the question tag for this sentence. Then what about the question tag for this statement? She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter. Is this sentence a negative sentence or a positive one? Yes, it is a positive one. So for positive one, we should have to add AV plus not plus subject, isn't it? But here we don't have any auxiliary verbs in the sentence. Is there any auxiliary verbs in the sentence? No. Is there? There is no be form auxiliaries, do form auxiliaries, have form auxiliaries, and modals. There is no modals in this sentence. So in this case, we should have to make use of do form auxiliaries. In do form auxiliaries, there are three auxiliary verbs. One is does, second one is do, and third one is did. Does and do are used in present tense, and did is used for past tense. Now look at this statement. She wrote a letter. Here the verb wrote is in past tense, and hence we are using a past tense auxiliary. So that is did. So we are using did, and if you add not to it, it becomes didn't. And which is the subject here? She. Didn't she? Didn't she is the correct question tag for this sentence. So we have come across three examples. Look at this first example. Ramya is going to market. This is a positive sentence, and it is having auxiliary verb in it. So is there. So we used the same auxiliary verb here and added not for that, and subject she, it becomes isn't she. And go for second one. The second sentence is a negative one, and it is having auxiliary verb, that is. So we have added auxiliary verb and subject. So then it becomes a question tag. And the third sentence, there is no auxiliary verb. If there is no auxiliary verb, we should have to make use of does, do, did. Hence, it is a past tense. We have used here didn't. She is the question tag for this statement. Now, Ramya is going to market, isn't she? Ramya is going to market is a statement. If you add isn't she to it, it becomes a question. And she is not weak, it is a statement. If you add is she, it becomes a sentence. She is not weak, isn't she? Sorry, she is not weak, is she? This is the question. She wrote a letter. This is a simple statement. And if you add didn't she, an interrogative fragment to it, it becomes a question. That is, she wrote a letter, didn't she? This becomes a question tag. So this is all about question tag. Thanks for watching. Bye.